Hey everyone, welcome to Achievement Through Attitude TV. I'm your host and attitude coach, Phil Stringer. This program is about getting your attitude adjusted. It's about finding an attitude that gets your motor running. It's about the power of attitude and how it can help you achieve big. But hopefully what it's about is that it inspires your attitude to be amazing. You know, this week I was talking to a friend of mine, Mr. Tom Gardo, and Tom said to me, he goes, there's two things that we can control in life. We can control our attitude and we can control our effort. And obviously I totally agree with Tom. You know, and at the end of the show, guys, I talk about never hanging your head and never surrendering. And what that simply means is never hang your head. When your head is dropped in your chest like this, that is a posturing of defeat. So keep your head held high so you can keep sight of the opportunities, and keep sight of your dreams, keep sight of your visions, your aspirations. Keep those in sight, so keep your head up. And then I talk about never surrendering. And when I say that, I'm talking about don't surrender the attitudes that will allow you to achieve big. Don't surrender your passion, your perseverance, about being fearless, about having courage, about being willing to earn it. If you can do these things, you will achieve big. Every guest that we bring on this show, I promise you, has had that opportunity to hang their head, but they didn't. And if they did, I also promise you this, they did it for just a split second, because they knew that if they kept their head down, they would never be able to get where they wanted to go. And they had a willpower to never, ever surrender, no matter what. And it allowed them to achieve big. They were able to change when they needed to change. They were able to adapt when they needed to adapt. And they got where it is that they wanted to go. Guys, with that said, today we're going to talk about an attitude of no excuses. And this one it hits home with me because, you know, we have excuses for everything. This happened to me because of this and that and this and that. But ultimately it comes down to us. And you know, don't have that excuse, because with every excuse there's always an opportunity. You have to look hard enough to find it. At the beginning of the show, there's a segment where you see me run through a brick wall. And that was actually brick pavers, and it was about 2,400 pounds of brick. And what that signified to me was, with these excuses that we put in our lives, we build walls. We build up brick walls. And on that day, I decided enough was enough, and I ran through that wall to signify basically knocking all those excuses down and breaking through those excuses and being able to move to the next level. And we can all do that. And I promise you, when you do decide to do that, that the vision and the view on the other side of that wall that you've built up will be absolutely amazing. So with that, guys, get ready to get your attitude adjusted with Mr. Brother Kitty next on Achievement Through Attitude TV. Hey guys, welcome back to Achievement Through Attitude TV. Today we're talking about an attitude of no excuses. And the individual I've got on today has got a lot of attitude, and he has no excuses. Please welcome Brother Kitty.
How are you, Phil?
Brother, thank you very much for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
For those of you that don't know, Brother is born and bred in the Low Country. So, Brother, let's get started. You were born here.
Absolutely.
In Beaufort.
Right, in my grandfather's house.
And your grandfather, wow,
yeah.
Your grandfather's house.
Grandpa Jake.
And then you were raised in Bluffton.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Played football at Bluffton?
Absolutely.
All
football,
right.
Ran track.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now, I know when we talked before, football was a passion for you, so you went to college.
Right.
And South Carolina State initially.
Right.
Right? And remember, guys, now we're talking about no excuses, so I'm gonna put it on the brother right now. When you were at South Carolina State, you didn't quite get it, did you?
No, sure didn't. I made the mistake of, taking my car up there, and I had a 68 Mustang Fastback, a really, really nice car, so I figured if I take the car to college with me, I'd get the girls. Well, if you take your car to college and you're a freshman, you don't get the girls and you don't get your lesson either.
Right.
So I ended up flunking out of school and coming home. And,
so now, I love this. Brother came home and he went to Mom's, kind of had his head hung a little bit. Well, guess who got his head out of his chest? It was his mother. A little tough love there, right, brother?
Downright nasty, if you will. She took the keys to my car, and
Right.
she said, "I'm not giving any money for gas, and you can only get one meal in this house, and you will get the you know what out of here,
Right.
one way or another. You're not going to stay here."
Right.
So,
That's
Get out.
the good thing about your mother is she instilled that no excuses in you
right,
at an early age,
early
I
age,
guess. Yeah.
early age.
Because that tough love, man, that'll get you going. It'll get you going in the right direction.
Yeah, but hers was more than tough love.
Right.
Because the words she said to me, I can't repeat on
Well,
camera.
that's good. That's good. Maybe for another show. But what happens when your mother does that to you is that she cares about you, and she can see the person that you can be,
Right.
even though you can't. Is that, you believe in that?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what she saw in
absolutely.
you.
Yeah, she always wanted me to be a doctor, but so anyway, I ended up majoring in physical therapy, which was something close because
Right.
you know, to be a doctor, you had to go to school 8 years anyway,
Right.
and then you had to do residency
Right.
and all that stuff. So I wasn't willing to put in that kind of time.
Right.
So anyway, I studied physical therapy.
Right. And now you, once you had the tough love from your mom, you decided that the Marines might be something that might shape your life.
Yeah, I thought I was doing something big. When she kicked me out of the house, I had a cousin that I told. He and I were pretty close. He's now deceased, and
Right.
he thought it was extremely funny that I got kicked out of the house. So he wasn't having no sympathy for me
Right.
either. So I ended up joining the Marines as a test to myself, and I knew that the Marines was all about teamwork, doing what you have to do when you're supposed to do it,
Right.
and the discipline and everything else.
Right.
So I kind of took a liking to that because I've already had it anyway. My
Right.
mother already impressed that on me.
Right.
So when I got to the Marines, I understood what it was all about.
Right.
They just impressed it a little bit harder than she probably would.
Right.
She was a mean person.
That's that tough love.
Yeah,
But in the Marines, you learned about there are no excuses.
Nope.
You learned about personal accountability.
Absolutely.
And you learned about teamwork.
Absolutely.
All right. And then when you did 5 years in the Marine,
Yes,
right?
I did. I got sworn in twice. I did a 4-year tour, and 9 years later, they kept writing me letters to come back. So I ended up and did one more tour with the reserves over in Savannah.
Okay.
And by that time, the Marines had changed a little bit. I came from the old Corps where if you screw up, you paid for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You get slaps out of the head,
Right,
you get
right.
kicked in the butt, you do what
Right.
you're supposed to do.
The discipline.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So because if you're in a war and you do, you go away from protocol and what
Right.
you're supposed to do as far as the discipline is concerned, you can get people killed.
Right.
So
Yeah.
when you screwed up back in those days, you paid for it.
Right. And now, after you got out of the Marines, you pursued football again and your education
Right.
at a junior college.
Right.
Now, where was the junior college at? Where did you go?
Got discharged at Camp Pendleton, California.
Oh, wow,
Really
okay.
love California. So I was stationed at Camp Pendleton when I did a tour in the Western Pacific.
Okay.
I was stationed aboard the USS Apollo and the USS Tripoli.
Wow,
So I
okay.
did my rotation from overseas, from Okinawa, Japan, and came back and was stationed at Camp Pendleton. So they had a Marine Corps team, and so I played for the Marines at Camp Pendleton. We
Oh, I
won.
didn't know they had a.
Yeah, oh, absolutely,
that's
yeah.
cool.
But they play 8-man football.
Okay.
Yeah. And,
Now, is that padded or is that just like a
Oh
touch
no,
thing?
it's full pads. It's full
I didn't
pads.
think you guys would just go out there with no pads on. and
Oh
bang it out.
no! We weren't playing no flag ball. We're actually playing. And there were a lot of college players on that team. You know, a good friend of mine, Levi
Right.
Gregory. He lives in this area also. He was
Right.
our quarterback, and there was a guy from Alcorn State, and we had a lieutenant that went to Rutgers University.
Wow, okay.
So we had a really good squad.
So then that wasn't the junior college though. That was you went to the junior college then?
Yes, after I left, after
Marine
I
Corps.
separated from the Marine Corps, I went to Orange Coast Junior College in Costa Mesa, California,
All right.
and stayed there for 2 years.
And then you went to Mesa State.
Mesa State in Grand Junction, Colorado.
And that's where you met one of your mentors, which was the head coach there.
Yes, Bob Cortese, this little short, fat Italian guy.
Yeah.
He was
And that-
mean. He was a drill
Yeah,
instructor too.
and he gave you some attitude about the no excuses. Again, it's the same stuff that you learned.
Yeah.
No excuses,
Right.
personal accountability,
Absolutely.
teamwork, and then when you can have all three of those things working
Right.
together, it got you guys where you wanted to go.
Yes, absolutely.
You've played in 2 national
Yes,
championships.
actually one. I was a part of the '82 team, and
Mm-hmm.
that team is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So I have to fly back to Grand Junction in October to participate in the induction
Wow,
ceremony.
that'll be exciting. Huh?
Yeah.
I
I'm
get
looking
to see a
forward
lot
to
of
it.
old
Yeah,
friends.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sure.
then one of my buddies, he was an ex-Marine also. Well, they say former Marine, but I
Right.
don't. In my day, it was ex-Marine.
Right.
But anyway, he was a former Marine also. His name is Linton Thomas.
Okay.
And we were the 2 Marines on the team. So we kind of, when we got there, those guys that know a whole lot about lifting weights, so we kind of got in the gym and
Right.
showed them how it's supposed to be done.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about next. I
Right.
know that weightlifting is also a passion of yours because
Absolutely.
you're good at it.
Yes.
And that started when you got to the college, right?
Yeah,
Powerlifting.
yeah, right. In Orange Coast, I did a lot of bodybuilding,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I got to Colorado, I kind of continued my bodybuilding, but I incorporated powerlifting in
Right.
there. So at that particular time, I was weighing about 188 pounds. I was benching 400 pounds. I was squatting 550 pounds.
Now, those are a couple weren't back then. I don't know now. I don't want to insult you, but those were records back then. You were in the top ranked somewhere.
Oh, well, actually, if you would do the numbers, I was one of the strongest running backs in America, actually. I mean, because there wasn't a whole lot of guys running around weighing 188 pounds, benching that much.
400 pounds.
I was squatting 550 pounds at 180. At 188 pounds.
Okay, now I've lifted some weight in my time. That's a lot of weight.
It is.
It's a lot of weight to move around.
Yeah.
But again, there was no excuse. It's like, well, I only weigh 180 pounds. Oh, I can't do this. That wasn't your mindset.
No,
it's like I'm 180 pounds and loaded up because I can do it.
No, can't, never could.
Right? There you go. Now, the one thing I found interesting is, we talked about you having a mentor, and what this is going to do is, when we get to the second segment of the show, this will all make sense. But you met this coach, and he kind of passed some information on to you to mentor these young kids that were coming in, because at that time you were 27.
Yes.
So quickly tell me about that.
Yes. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I was like 24 years old. So I did 2 years at the junior college, and I got a friend of mine told me that this coach wanted me to come out. I was a fullback, of course, but the coach I played for in California wasn't really a good coach. And me being a competitive guy that I am, I hate the guy until this day. Actually, I mean, it never goes away, So I understand the dynamics of it. So that's why I don't the coaching that I do now. I take all that into account, because you don't want to disappoint these kids.
Right. Exactly.
So I met Coach Bob Curtiz, and he inspired me to coach.
See, I love that word, inspiration.
Yeah.
Guys, when we come back, we're going to find out what personal tragedy brought Brother back to the Low Country. So stay tuned to have your attitude adjusted with Brother Kitty next on Achievement Through Attitude TV. Hey everyone, welcome back to Achievement Through Attitude TV. I hope that you're getting your attitude adjusted with the Brother Kitty, because we're talking about no excuses. And I said before the break that Brother was brought back to the Low Country because of a personal tragedy. His 12-year-old son, was killed by a drunk driver, and that brought Brother back to the Low Country. And you just want to talk about that for just a second, Brother?
Yeah. It threw me for a loop there for a while, but it wasn't for my two brothers, John and Rennie. They kept me going, and a few friends. We stayed busy, partying a lot, acting stupid. We had a really good time. But thank God for my two brothers. I really love them for it. And I've forgiven the guy that did it. And that guy's brother, he's one of my best friends today. His name is Tim Horan.
Okay.
And Tim's a great man, and he'll always be a friend of mine.
Well, that's amazing. I've read a lot of stuff where they talk about forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools, or one of the most powerful attitudes that we have.
Absolutely.
And we don't use it enough. Because when you give that forgiveness, lifts that weight off you, doesn't it?
Sure. I mean, he did not intend to do it. So, I mean, God's going to be the final judge, and I'm a believer.
Right.
So that's how it's going to go. But it's not going to be on me. So.
No, that's right. That's right. That's amazing. Right. But when we were talking about your time out there in playing football, and you come back to the Low Country, and now you want to coach kids.
Right.
So you start. This is 1985.
Yeah.
And youth football is pretty much non-existent.
Right.
Pretty much in Bluffton.
Right. Yeah.
So you decide, and you had a friend that helped you do
There's
this.
a fellow by the name of Larry Hickey.
Larry Hickey, you guys.
I think he and I were destined to meet. I met him at a grocery store, and I was just kind of asking around, because see, my last football game I played was in the national championship game against a team out of Tennessee, Carson Newman.
Right.
And we lost that game, which, there wasn't a dry eye in the place. And I looked around the room as I left. Some of those guys I wasn't ever going to see again.
Right.
But thank God I'm going to go back and see them when we get into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
But anyway, going forward, I came home and I'm like, I need to do something to give back. I still have this in my blood, because I figured it was unfinished business losing that game to Carson Newman.
Right.
So anyway, I met this guy, Larry Hickey, and we got together. And we coached together for 13 years. And then there's three teams, the Pee-wees, the midgets, and the small fries. So then he went down and coached the smaller team. And I stayed up coaching the bigger team, which was 11 and 12 years old. And at that age, the kids are going to make a decision to go left, right, or down the middle. So I choose to take that age, because it's a pretty tough age.
Right. And
so,
And you wanted them to learn, and I know from knowing you, I've known Brother a long time, it's about discipline.
Absolutely.
that personal accountability, which
Absolutely.
I mean, it holds true.
Absolutely.
You know, don't point the finger at everybody else,
No.
guys. Let's take a look at
Right.
ourselves and then be like, oh wow, maybe that was me.
Right.
Maybe I can do better.
Right.
Maybe when I'm
Right.
doing better, then the whole team does better.
Right. Right.
And that's a tough thing to put into these kids nowadays.
It is, yeah, because you still got to teach them self-responsibility. You're playing on a team, but if each man does their job, then the whole team is going to benefit from it. If everybody do their job and everybody depend on everybody else, it's all about team. You learn that from the Marine Corps.
Right.
If you got one guy doing his job, the guy who's carrying the machine gun and the guy with the ammo and everything else, everybody doing their job, you got one. The Marine Corps is one solid machine.
Right.
No one's pulling apart. Everybody's pulling together. And if we pull together, you can do magnificent things.
And that's the lesson.
And this country right now needs to learn something.
Exactly. And that's the lesson that you're giving these kids.
Absolutely.
But now while you're doing this coaching, you've got to earn some money.
Yeah.
So I know that you worked around the island here, and if you guys don't know this, brother is a movie star. And I've got proof right here. This picture is with brother and Sharon Stone. He was in a movie down here called The Last Dance,
Last
right?
Dance, yes.
And then we've got another picture that we'll show you with The Rock. I can't think of his name.
Charles Dutton.
Charles Dutton. So these are the kind of people that brother was hanging out with, getting on the movies, and doing that can-do attitude, that no excuse attitude, and basically being fearless to be like, yeah, I'll be in a movie, sure.
Absolutely.
And you've taken all that and you've funneled it to these kids at this
Sure.
football.
Yeah.
Because again, I love having props. This is this was a humanitarian award that you were given.
Yes. That's the Larry Hickey Senior Award.
Right.
That's for dedication, and perseverance and consistency with doing what you're
Yeah,
doing.
well, it says it right here, man.
Yeah.
Untiring service and leadership.
Right.
And as good as that one is, this was my favorite because this one was given to brother by just one of your players.
One of my players,
And
yes.
it was just for you because you touched him
Yeah.
and you inspired him, and
Yeah.
I'm sure to this
Yeah.
day that he'll remember that
Yeah.
forever.
His name is Daniel Williams.
Yeah, and he'll pass that on to other people that he comes in touch with.
Yeah. Right.
And that's what it's about. It's we talk about attitude and we talk about all these things here, but it's about let's not talk about it. Let's pay it forward, basically, to say, and that's what you do with these kids.
Right. Absolutely.
27 years.
Started my 27th year coaching, and I volunteer at the high school also. We got a great program. We got a new coach over there, Coach
Right.
Ken Cribb.
Now, yeah, Bluffton, you guys did.
Yeah.
You guys did real
Yeah,
well there.
he's pretty crafty. That Coach Cribb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
we
and
got some good things happening this year.
Right.
We got some kids going to college, kids that I've coached in the youth league. Anthony Gardner, B.J. Kitty, people like that who I've coached.
Well, brother, I know you're giving them some good lessons and some good attitudes that they can use down the road. They may not realize it right now.
Yeah.
But they'll be able to call on it later.
Yeah.
So, with this 27 years of coaching this football, you told me you bought a lot of cheeseburgers, and at the beginning because you didn't get a lot of support.
No, especially from the black community.
Really?
And I don't mean to be controversial, but
yeah.
I'm a guy about the truth,
Hey,
so I'm
man,
going to tell it the way I see it.
Say it how you feel
At
it.
that time, Larry and I, we bought a lot of cheeseburgers, football shoes, anything the kids need to get them going because they had made a decision
Right.
to not run the streets,
Right.
to not goof off and
Right.
play a game. And this was before Xbox and all
Right.
those other craziness
Yep.
that the kids got going right now.
Right.
If I had my way, I'd smash every Xbox there is, if it left up to me. But
So
anyway,
we're not going to be promoting Xbox on this show, guys.
But anyway, we did this stuff. We pick them up for practice. We take them to games. We go back and bring them home. We fed them. We did everything we were supposed to do because it's just simple dedication.
Right.
The kids need someone to look up to, and we were willing to take that role. So, and I'll do it till I'm 100 years old. It doesn't matter to me.
But now tell me about the participation and the people that support it now. It's overwhelming.
Oh my God! I mean,
It's
if
an
you
event.
Yeah,
These
absolutely.
games for these
It's a
kids.
big event now. We have the league that we play in is the best, in my opinion, in the country. And I've been around youth league football in Colorado, California, Illinois. I mean, it's just the best in the country. It's very well run. We got a booster club. We got team coordinators. We got coaches, and we got guys with college experience. And it's just a great program. And I don't want to leave out Hilton Head either.
Right.
But Hilton Head left the league for a while because we were kicking their tails. But like the Tim Sinkler.
I'm going to have to get Timmy on the show here and let him say his piece.
Well, it's because of Timmy that the Hilton Head is back into the league now. So kudos to Tim.
Yeah.
And we got a team in from Waldoboro, so it's really
That's
good.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, brother, we're gonna close it up here, and I want to thank you for, first of all, for your time, for being here. I mean, I really appreciate it, and for sharing your attitude, because I know that you're honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love that. And what we do here now is that everybody comes on the show, we give you a little bling, and we've got a Meet the Challenge shirt for brother.
Thank you.
We've got a Warrior shirt for brother.
That's great.
And we've got Respect Earned for brother, and then the one that I love for brother. Well, where are we? Intimidated Never. So, brother, man, thanks a lot.
And I want to
for being on the show.
thank you, and I wish you well with your show. And you're doing a great
Thanks.
thing, man.
Thanks.
Keep
I
it up.
appreciate that. It means a lot to me.
All right.
Thanks. Guys, every morning when your feet hit the floor, remember you have an opportunity to do something amazing, to be amazing. So never hang your head, never surrender. Take excuses and throw them out the window. Be accountable, be passionate, be fearless. And we'll see you next week on Achievement Through Attitude TV to get your attitude adjusted.